football lost a legend last week. We were off for the holidays when John Madden unexpectedly passed away. You know, people forget he retired from coaching at the age of 42. That's extremely young. There have been coaches who have had a separate coaching career on top of their NFL coaching career, more than John Madden. You know, Bill Belichick, I think, has coached 23 seasons after his 42nd birthday. I mean, Jimmy Johnson was 56 when he retired, and that felt young. John Madden was only 42. And people forget how great he was as a coach. It still might have the best winning percentage of all time. But he also had a 30-year broadcasting career, called a couple of Super Bowls, won Emmys, became the face of football, a new generation, the Madden video game. And, you know, the celebration of the man around the NFL was fitting. And, you know, the special that Fox did was really well done. And first time I met John was in the mid-'80s when I was in New York working for CNN. And he was such a big star at the time. And I remember I went up to him at the NFL draft and I said, hey, I would love to know if you could do something where he has these Miller Lite commercials where he breaks through, a piece of big screen of paper, like the commercial's not over yet. And I thought maybe he could do something where, believe me, I should never have asked, but I'm asking John if he would recreate that for my story I was doing on the NFL draft for CNN. Like, this draft story with Dan Patrick is not over yet. Whatever it was stupid. But I went to John, and you could see the look on, his face when I said, hey, I'm Dan Patrick. I work at CNN. Hi, Dan Patrick, Mr. Madden. And you could just see his face was like, how do I say no in a polite way? And I said, here's how it's going to be, and then you're going to be all energetic, and you're going to bust through, and you're going to say it's not over yet, but it's going to be over. And he goes, I don't think so. And I go, okay, all right. But I mean, he was very nice about it. A couple of years later, I'm at ESPN, and I meet him, and I said, hey, John, I'm Dan Patrick, Sports Center. And he goes, I don't think so. And I go, what? He goes, didn't you ask me one time to do something for you when you were at the draft? And I go, yes, I did. And then he just laughed and he put his hand on my shoulder. And then he walked into the Madden Cruiser. So but I worked with John at NBC for the Super Bowl. And I was always very hesitant to go up to him because I always thought he was going to say, I don't think so. But those who were when you were around John, he just loved telling stories. And I always appreciated that John loved the game more than anything else. John loved the game, promoted the game. The safety of the game was so important to John. But to be around him and just to get on the Madden Cruiser, that was a big deal. And when you walked on, it was like, that was tricked out. That was where you go, you know what, I could do this. Because John had a fear of flying. But he was, there are legendary stories about John. First of all, he didn't want you to use the bathroom on the Madden Cruiser. But if you did use the bathroom, you couldn't go number 2. And there were a couple of people, including Wayne Gretzky, who did. And
that's upper echelon deucing, though. That's the great one.
You just outed Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah. Well, Matt Millen, too. Matt Millen did, too. But John just, like, there were little things where you go, damn, I love that story. Yeah, Paulie?
Like Wayne Gretzky would be allowed to use any bathroom. But Matt Millen, good player, but not bathroom worthy.
Yeah, I'm not worried about Gretzky using my bathroom. Matt Millen, he might detonate. Yes, see.
And that's one of those scenarios that when you're on the bus everybody's got a timer going off. And you cross a threshold
Yeah.
of like, oh, so we just went from 1 to 2 here. And everybody knows there's no hiding in that scenario.
It's like how much time goes from that's 1, oh, that's 2.
There's definitely a 2 situation happening.
Oh, you can just imagine John Madden going, oh, that's a deucer.
Yeah. Oh, come on, Gretzky.
And then boom. And then he went boom. And then boom. Yeah, Paulie.
Yeah, I love, though, that Wayne Gretzky can get away with anything. Like, if he drove up to my house right now and let him use my bathroom, of course he would. In honor.
Oh.
You can go 1 or 2 in my house, whatever you want.
Go 3. I don't even know what 3 is.
The Office is streaming now exclusively on Peacock. Whether you know every quote or you're a newbie to Scranton, you can stream every episode again and again. Plus, discover superfan episodes featuring completely new scenes and extended cuts. Sign up at peacocktv.com to stream now. And when you think of John, John was, Dick Vitale was big to college basketball, huge. Probably the most influential person involved in college basketball in history. What he did, for how long he's done it, with the enthusiasm that he did it. And John was doing that with the NFL. But John didn't set out to be that. I know, he retired at 42, and then all of a sudden he's calling games. And do you know who was supposed to be there? So Madden football, there were 2 other former players who were supposed to be, it was going to be their video game. Now, this is what I was told over the weekend by somebody who works on the game. Okay, one is star status, legendary, and the other one is you would never in a million years guess. Anybody want to guess who was? I don't think this is first choice. Well, let me take that back. I think this name was first choice, that he was going to have his own video game. And he couldn't because I think he was involved with Atari at the time. Joe Montana. The other former quarterback, I'll even give you the team and you probably won't get it. The Vikings. Joe Kapp.
Oh.
Joe Kapp, who played for the Vikings first couple of Super Bowls, I believe. And those were the former players who were involved, or at least the conversation of it was going to be their video game. And John was told, you want to buy stock? We're going to give you this opportunity to buy all this stock. And John decided not to buy the stock.
And then boom.
Yeah, and then boom, it went crazy. Yeah. Yes, Paulie.
So about 10, 12 years ago, EA Sports bought out John Madden's name in perpetuity for the game. They gave him a lump sum payment of $150 million. And he was offered a chance to roll that 150 back into the stock, like you said. And he passed. That 150, I'm estimating here, would be close to $1 billion.
Yeah.
Probably 800 million safely.
Someone just tweeted at us, turducken.
Wow. Happy New Year. Fritzy, how are you not involved in
That's
this?
the leader in
Coach?
the clubhouse for sure. I can't. It's just a shame. If I ever would have been able to go on that Madden bus, they would have kicked me out right away. So
That's suspiciously quiet.
Yeah,
Dude.
that's true.
Why is John Madden late for the big Monday Night Football game?
Yeah. Can you imagine, though, he sees Fritzy? It's like, you know how the bus driver closes the doors?
kick me out in some town in the middle of nowhere. I got
Yeah.
to find my own way the rest of the way across the country.
Yeah. Deuce McAllister was never allowed on the Madden
Never.
Cruiser. No, he was not.